Hey everyone, I'm Tassinix, and welcome to Plotting and Scheming. We're covering Season 54, 3 vs 3 Grand Arena Championship Week 2. As always, I am joined by my co-hosts, Dagger, TJ, and Sasha Isha. Gentlemen, how you doing? How was your week? How'd you do?
Good. It was a good week. I'll start. Although it was maybe a little under engaging on a GAC front. I only had one real match, but so I went 2-1 and lost the one real match. Cyrus, a great player with a great account, breezed through my defense before I even logged on. He had one shot everything smoothly, and in a sense that was liberating. And we'll get into it in a bit because I looked at it and basically said, screw it, let's do some fun stuff and try and learn rather than try and sweat out that efficiency. So it still made for like one fun match.
All right, dig that. Dagger, TJ, how about you guys?
Mine is 2-1, and my one is because of a gamble I wanted to try, where my round one was not mirrored to my round two. Cost me the match because I wanted to try something, and that's how it goes. But with that one, my dude clean swept my board, so it's it was all right. So at least he made it easy for me on my Saturday that I took some attacks, took a loss, and I'm all right with it. But 2-1, and then going into actually a pretty good week 3.
Nice, nice. Dagger, how about you?
I went 2-1 as well. Busy week as turns out summer vacation doesn't actually mean it's summer vacation for adults.
Yeah, that's never been the
it's
case.
It's like the worst misnomer.
Yeah. Specifically a punishing. Well, I'll round you out then. I also went 2-1, and like Sasha, I lost my only real match of the week. So, top level Kyber 1 play. Pleased to bring that to the people. All right, guys, time to start with the meta-analysis. Now, we happened to talk a little bit in the pre-show about this. There's a couple matchups that are really cool, so I wanted to bring these up. The first one is offensive matchups for Padme and the Padme Kron. A couple folks brought these matchups to my attention. One was Sasha Isha himself, and the other, let me make sure I give credit where credit is due, was Funky, one of my newest patrons. Dropped this little bit of knowledge about using Padme versus Gungans. I mean, I knew people were doing it in week 1, but I hadn't seen a nice little video like that, so appreciate him hooking it up. But we check and see the matchups for it, and I went ahead here, sorted for Division 1, minimum relics of 7 on the, on the Padme team, on the Quadme team, rather. The defending Datacron of bulk level 3, and I decided to just check off the Padawan Obi-Wan level 9. I didn't specify any level 6 because I wanted to see both. I guess we can check and see about, divergent win rates, but see this? A total of 7 matches total, so yeah, that's why I didn't bother with it. But out of curiosity, it does seem that Padme, Zaris, and GK, or Padme, Ahsoka, and I guess Quadme some people use who didn't put her on defense. So I think people might be interested in trying this. That did not work.
I would say we're not seeing it though, Tash, just to call you out, but we see the game. So you may be showing it to the people, but the people you're talking to are hey, stop.
Good. Yeah, I thought I had that up, so good call. Basically the bottom line here is it's like people who tried without using Quadme in their Padme just straight up face planted. Let me check the other thing though. Wow. So yeah, there isn't actually a lot of data on that. I wonder if so nobody tried Padme, Ahsoka, GK. So I wonder what restrictions there are. I wonder why Funky's matchup doesn't show in there. All right, and then let's see. The other one was Padme versus Boss Nass Gungans with Phalanx. I think Phalanx, we were all talking about this earlier. Phalanx has proven to be the best choice, right now at least, with the current Datacron set, to be the companion to Jar Jar and Boss Nass with the Jar Jar Kron level 9. That seems to be the way to go. It's oppressive, the amount of turns it takes. So yeah, this team also assumes Division 1 of Kyber, defensive minimum relics of 7. The right 3, 6, and 9 with bulk, the plasma generator level 6 and Jar Jar level 9, and then all Omicrons applied Jar Jar. And then we see 0% win rate with Padme, Ahsoka, and Mace, but otherwise decent win rate with Padme, Grandmaster GK, Padme, Ahsoka, Shock, and then 80% win rate with Padme, Ahsoka, GK. But that had the most battles with 5, so why did this one lose? What did you do? Interesting. Use the correct cron.
Could that be Jar Jar?
What do you mean?
0.01%.
Oh, yeah. Well, it went... No, it looks
Right,
like... See, the duration is 5 minutes, 9 seconds, so it basically, he timed out on attack, right?
Right, but my point, he lost.
Oh, yeah, did he lose him off
Did
rip?
GK
Bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, did he lose
It
him
is.
off rip
I
and
guess
rage?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe. That would be hideous. I would be pissed. I would be severely pissed. So those are really important matchups because I've been having this on defense the last couple weeks, and it's drawn decent stuff. People have mostly overkilled it, but that flexibility is essential. And I think all of these are running on the Prot Disruption level 6, right? I think that's going to be
what you're trying to do here, because that's also bypassing taunts. So all of this stuff, I think, is necessary to be able to make it achieve. You try to come in with Galactic Republic like the 75% is not going to work.
Apparently, it does work. Wow, it worked in 4 minutes. I guess it can work.
I was going to say the Prot Disruption is irrelevant because they're immune to it. So I mean, like,
it's just the bypass taunt. Is all I'm talking
So, yeah.
about.
Well, it's also the 50% increased critical damage, which whatever.
oh, I'm not arguing that. I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying like it's not Prot Disruption.
Yeah, the practice. Yeah, fair enough. It's not hugely determinant. It looks like it works either way, so that is good to know. You know, you if you only had one Padme Cron, you didn't necessarily have to, re-roll the 6 to go one way or the other. All right. The next one I wanted to cover was really interesting. Traya versus Gungans. So I specified here again. This is Division 1. Minimum relics of 7, and I'll lower the attacking relics to 7. That was a previous question by Sasha, but we'll have apples to apples, right? Attacking Datacron, yes. Leave any set for the attacking. Let's see what works best. As far as the defending set, you've got Bulk level 3, Shield Generator level 6, Jar Jar level 9. Everybody has their Omis. Traya and Savage. And let me make sure of this. All right. So this is a 65% win rate now with all the filters applied.
Perfect sense of what I said.
Yes, it absolutely does. TJ was saying that, basically off rip, if they decide to go on Traya, that's your lose condition. And I was filtering the data right up until this moment. It was like, but I'm seeing stuff like 80%, depending on the filters, up to 90%. How is this?
I have felt the horror.
How do we explain this? Yeah, I'll let you tell it about it in just a second. But the idea was like we're both sitting here thinking like, how does it come out to be higher than like 2/3 win rate if that's the case? And there we narrowed it down enough where it makes sense now. So yeah, tell us about that.
All right, so let's gather around and roast the marshmallows, boys. Let me tell you the scary story of when Traya doesn't get to play the game. So what they will do is they will open up on your Traya to remove your protection. So you're already down 50% of your stuff. Then they will take a couple more hits on your team because remember, Phalanx goes a million times and will just beat the shit out of her. She's no longer there. And then what happens is you don't have the unique anymore. You know what your team really likes? Having that unique. I went, and it was a 50-second fight, and I watched in horror as my round 1 just gone. Fully loaded, got that, and which plays to this is my round 3, they tried Traya on my team. Has all of the same stuff, minute and 33. Their team is gone, fully loaded. And from there, it was a nightmare. So if they catch you, especially move 1, now to pass this point, you can recover if they leave you alone. The problem is, when you're already the weakest character, the AI usually likes you to finish the fight.
Especially
be
the
aware of
leader.
that.
Yeah.
So if they start on Treya, and because they can keep playing on you, your Treya might die. I think to Sasha's point, if you've got really good build, and I mean even with the really good Cron, but if you've got a really healthy like Relic 8, Relic 9, you might get lucky. But overall, if they start there, you're screwed. So
Is this a case? Is this a case for Dagger's defense mods on Treya? I usually go with offense and health so that I can smack when it's time to smack somebody.
I don't know because you already have no protection. I know where you're going to say that it's the blast, but if they put all the right debuffs on you to where it just pops, like if you got exposed and all these extra setups to where it's just like so dangerous, and Phalanx goes the million times. I don't know if you can recover fast enough because I'm telling you, it was like Phalanx, I believe, is the one who killed me. It wasn't anybody else.
That's fair, but if you wanted to improve your odds for this specific matchup, what do you guys think is the modding profile for Treya here?
I don't know specifically for this one, but I just generally mod Treya for health and defense. I know she can spike her offensive output, but I just find that's a squad that survivability is key, and her survivability in particular. So I'm like all defense. And as I recall, she's a character with relatively low base defense, so like even flat defense secondaries are really helpful on her mods. And I think I've got her up maybe around 60% physical defense, which like most characters I think would be higher. It's just her base was so low.
You still rolling the prop primaries?
No, I think I've got health. I prefer health with her.
Just for her own protection up, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I know it leaves her vulnerable to like a Gidme type of stuff, but I just feel like that's the theme of today's show. Padme's got such high callings already.
Well, the prod primaries stop the initial burst, so with defense mods plus the prod primaries, which I generally have her in,
right.
Okay. She is more sustainable versus burst. Because she'll stack her max health as she goes. So it's I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying I prefer it that way. Like it's been said many times, there are so many callings for health primaries.
I think that makes a lot of sense. I mean,
sorry, go ahead. No, that's all. No, I was just saying. So anywhere you can use those good prot primaries for like tanks or like support characters, I like to do so.
I only think it's scary when you're prot built with prot primers, whatever it is, and they remove your prot, that you just lost all of the goodness that was there. Because that was
she stacks her max health, she heals her max health, she gains bonus protection. It's all about surviving the initial burst.
If we're calling specifically Gungans, the only thing I'm calling out is if you're built for protection and they take away your protection, a lot of it's gone. And she's about durability, sustaining with the fight. But if your fight's 15 seconds in and she's already gone, the damage you're talking about becomes irrelevant.
I think Dagger's speaking to a strong general case, right? I think in the specific case of Gungans, I agree. I think
Gungans where you want to present the strongest version of Treya to the burst damage the Gungans are going to present. That is prot primaries.
I think.
But isn't? I mean, the threat, what actually ends up killing your Treya is that she ends up getting focused while busy not having protection due to protection disruption, right? So I think that's the crux of TJ's whole argument, and that's why I was just about to say it sounds like the general case would certainly be protection, but if you were specifically looking to be fighting into protection disruption, it sounds like the health primary setup that Sasha's kind of balanced into would be your better way to go. Thoughts on that?
I still think the prot provides more overall survivability, especially if she gets the technical care.
Like I said, I've seen the good parts of it too. This is cool, and it's a longer fight, and you're good because it's pretty much the first 30 seconds. I think are going to determine how your fight's going to go for the rest of the fight.
When you lose your Treya, are you losing her because she's dying inside the protection disruption window?
Yes, that's exactly what happened. She was never able to recover.
So understanding that, Dagger, why would you still go with protection?
Because she dies without getting a turn. It wouldn't matter how you mod her if they focus her.
There was definitely no turn.
If she gets a turn,
100% agree with that. Yes.
Yeah,
She can get
that's what I'm saying.
turn.
If she gets to get
Yeah.
a turn,
Well, wouldn't
doesn't get
the
a
best
turn, her modding's
odds?
irrelevant.
Wouldn't the best odds of getting her to the chance of having a turn be like defense sets with health primaries if all of your protection go bye-bye?
No, because she'd still die.
If she still dies anyway, that's fine. But in terms of maximizing her probability of getting to that turn,
I don't think I would remod her to be worse in other matchups just to be
fair.
just to ideal. But here's the problem: if you mod her for this, she's still going to die if they hard target her.
Right.
And if they don't hard target her, you're good.
Yeah.
So like, I wouldn't skew my modding just to because like I don't know if that's making sense, but I wouldn't skew my mods just to stop.
I guess this is where I guess that question was eventually where this was driving towards, right? Like what's ultimately the way to do it? Because of course Trey is so flexible and can be used any number of places. So for the most general case, yeah. See, I've been rocking the offense mods for so long, but it doesn't happen often. But I do remember the occasional time that my Trey gets blown up, and again, maybe I would have lost that matchup regardless of how she was modded, but. Yeah, I am thinking about those defense sets right now.
Yeah, she needs her first.
I do have some.
I think that's the ultimate.
Secondaries.
Oh, I believe that. That's worth cultivating.
Yeah. My trade. I don't get none.
Yeah, she's worth
But
a custom set for sure. Not generic tank mods, maybe.
Sasha did. Yeah. Yeah, like Sasha said, you definitely want to maximize her because you can so easily with defense sets and defense percent, flat defense. You could just give her so much additional survivability for basically free because the defense set's 75% defense.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You can just give her so much free survivability. I don't find her damage is all that relevant, especially in threes, because Nihilus just blows people up. And Scion does a fair amount of damage after it's held by Hatred. In fives.
Mm-hmm.
And in threes, again, you have Stavage stacking their offense anyway, so I mean, you can do offense, it helps you close out fights better, but yeah, like Sasha said, I tried to lean into making her not die.
No, I feel it. I'm feeling the tug that way.
Defense, full defense set Trey still dies to Gungans when she gets focused, so it's like me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The only time I've tried an offense set was when I was trying to see if I could one-shot LVs with a Trey squad. And there's some, I got it to work a couple of times, but like not reliably.
Very good. Okay, I think that covered everything I wanted to mention, and that we already pre-discussed about meta matchups. Any last points you wanted to make here, guys, before we move?
Did we cover the Padme versus Queen Amidala stuff, or did we want to touch?
Did I just kind of gloss over that too quickly? Let me see here. Yeah, so
only thing I'd add for folks, because I know I tried that battle out. It was a lot of fun, and it worked for me. Mm-hmm. And I know there was a lot of pain in the community with getting hard stuck on Queen Amidala squads. So I'm like, oh, perfect. I'll just open source this and put it out there for everybody to look at. And then, like, to my horror, I look at, like, .gg this morning, and it's like, yeah, a bunch of people took and tried it, and it had a 15% success rate. So I guess that particular counter, and I can go through it in just a moment, just so you guys know, 15% of the time, it works every time. So I can go through particulars if you want on it, Task, but we don't necessarily.
No, please do in just a sec. I just want to point out, I don't know if you're seeing this on screen, but I got it filtered down towards defense minimum relics of 7, okay? Queen Amidala, Padawan Obi-Wan, Master Qui-Gon, Division 1 with the 3 and 9. I didn't specify the 6, but I did specify all 3 Omis. And yeah, I gave Padme Kron on with either level 6 and the bulk level 3. And this is what I see. This is a horror show.
I had filtered it a little bit differently to come up with my 15%. But my point being, like, first of all, apologies to anybody out there whose GAC I undermined by having them rely on that video. It did actually feel quite comfortable to me. I just threw it out like just kind of on a lark. I thought it was going to be a ton of fun, and it was fun, and it felt comfortable. But there were a few aspects that I would want to note. Like one is I actually feel like on the attacking side, kind of like we were talking about before, it requires the proc disruption, not for the proc disruption, but because that includes an ignore taunt. And I think that's really critical because so much of it, I mean, the whole sort of engine underlying this is Padme's level 9, which in every out of turn attack reduces the damage done to 1 and gives you a stacking 10% protection up. So you're taking a ton less damage because that Queen Amidala squad does the vast majority of its damage from out of turn attacks. So those are mitigated from like what be a couple 100k blasts down to 1 damage, and they're creating these stacking protection ups, which is your sort of armory of courage that you're going to use to kill them. So I felt like it was pretty comfortable, but that's with like a thick and kind of health with a health modded GK and a health modded Xeris along with Padme, and not significant relic disparity. I had R8, R9. My only R9 was the GK against Cyrus's all R9 with a really good Padawan Obi-Wan Kron. So I felt pretty good about it, but as I see people do it with either relic disparity, they're getting one of their characters blown up, doing it with different characters, and I think TJ and I talking about this separately. I mentioned the GK is really key. If you try it with some others, you either get like counters from Mace, or you don't have the thickness and survivability to even survive some of those initial blasts, and you can melt away. And it's a timeout risk too. On top of that, I could see people running a risk of not being able to get everything killed.
There must have been something really particular about this, because I just opened it up to defense minimum relics of 5.
I'll tell you the big thing. If you watch it, I'll tell you if you watch, because I've watched it over and over.
Look
right?
at this.
And then I watched it there. So I'll tell you exactly what I see. There's a variation. If you watch his Xeris never counters. So we're talking about Sasha. Go watch Sasha's video because it's all over the place. Because damn, Sasha wanted to make it nice and give it to the whole Swiggo community because he's an asshole. The second
turns out I was an arsonist here, but yeah.
Right. But it's like, but the one thing you watch, and it's a perfect example of what happened to Xerath.
Hold on, I'm going to see if I can get it on screen here with us.
Well, and if you can, you'll see the point because you watched Xerath's fight, and it was a great point indicator. They hit his Xeris. His Xeris did counter and got all the stacks blown out.
Well, I've got the video starting to play right now, boss.
Good. So what you'll watch this fight. It's a 3-minute fight or whatever it is, but you'll watch his Varys basically left to get her 20 stacks and then pop shit, and that's what happens.
So this is very high armor penetration on this Kron. That may be a very significant factor. I don't know. He is a casual 300% armor penetration on this Kron. Thought you should know.
Yeah. Ironically, I don't think it matters a lick because all the
they're not major attackers. Yeah.
But like the thing that I noticed out of this, like you're right. There's the risk that if Varys counters, you blow your courage on like either the decoy or somebody that you don't want to be taking out. Other than Queen Amidala, and by the way, Queen Amidala, you really want to have the first one to die because the others are really the engine of out-of-turn attacks that are generating more courage for you to finish them off. But they don't really get too low on health. And again, like I think Xeris gets down to maybe 45%, GK early on get to 45%. And this is, I would put Cyrus's squad up again, like it's up there with Aesop as like among the best that you're going to find out there. So that's what made me feel good about it.
But this is, do you see what she's not doing? And
not
she's
counting.
ramping. And you'll watch her stacks rise to the top, and then it's like delete. And it's like all the things you want. So all of the goodness is happening where you want it this way, right? Because look, she's just ramping, and it's great.
How slow is your Xeris? Is there some secret sauce here in having a zeroed out Xeris?
I mean, she's slow, not modded for speed at all.
No deliberate amount added. Yeah.
That's again. Did you notice what she's not doing? And she's just ramping right up.
Yeah, because he's saving. He's only using that one special. That's the only turn she's gotten, and now she still has all her stacks.
and she's at 20 stacks right now. Somebody's going to die.
The other thing I would say is like anybody that's doing never use the GK to cleanse. You want as many debuffs on your squad as possible, and you want Padme to turn them back around into protection up because that's where you'll get these big bursts.
I did. You know what? That's a good call out. Your decision to not use that people would want to was a really smart one.
Yeah, you want Padme to take as many of those off as possible.
Dude, holy hell, 22 stacks and building.
And now I've got the. She doesn't.
Yeah, you don't have a protection up, so you have.
I don't have protection up.
Oh, but why? Why can she disobey the rules?
It's a great question. I don't know.
Yeah, she didn't have product there. She shouldn't have been able to ignore Taun.
Yeah, that's odd.
That's very interesting. Okay, so yeah, of course you blow her up, and then everybody else probably just keels right over. Yeah.
In the perfect scenario, if I also want to call out, you're only halfway through the fight, and one of the key people is dead. So now you're just toying with your food, and she's already back up. His Varys is already back up to 14.
That is amazing. I mean, we'll keep watching. I just want to see if there's. Do you think there's anything key to how you close out the fight after you've knocked her out?
No, if anything, between these two main candidates, like the two targets that were out there, I was kind of like opportunistically shopping for a like series of exposes and stuff that just try and get them. I was a little afraid of timing out because you can see I move kind of slow, as you might the first time you try something. I tend to be a super deliberate player anyway, but yeah.
No counters, and now GK is at 15 stacks.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, right? No counters in, so it's like the perfect thing of just the scenario. It's like, this is phenomenal. And if I saw this, if you're not looking at these intricacies of the kits to the Datacron and then what it's doing, this is an awesome fight. I wish I were recording my SLK fight, which we'll talk about gambles, where it's like my first SLK match against, I would recommend everybody to go against Quad Main and use SLK. It was phenomenal. And then I do the second round, not repeatable, and I noticed the difference. 40-second fight against Quad Main. But that's okay.
Yeah. Like I said, 15% of the time it works every time.
Well, I think it's pretty... I mean, you know, if you had pulled this off against somebody that wasn't as tricked out as an account like Cyrus, then you might be able to dismiss it. But I think there's something to be said for this really low speed on Xeris. And then, your observation about not cleansing with GK is like TJ said, like definitely people were screwing that up. Definitely.
Right. And it's the same thing. It's like the counterpoint too. It's like, why didn't mine go his? Well, if you look, Varys never counters. You look at GK, he had the perfect amount of stacks when it was time to go all in. I wouldn't even thought about the GK cleanse because it's so natural to want to cleanse. To not do that is like such a huge call out and easy what I guess is a mistake to make in this regard because of how it turned it in and you had the perfect setup.
All right. Okay, guys. Gamble. Offensive gamble of the week. All right, we'll start with Dagger. What do you want to highlight? I'll pull up your tab here. Get you on screen. Which round do you want me to scroll to?
I was going to say my only gamble was that I failed through Padme.
You failed versus a Padme?
Versus Groomer Padme.
I see.
I took regular Padme versus Groomer Padme and timed out.
Oh, okay. Let me see if I can find that one.
That was my gamble. I think it was round 2.
I was going to say, which cron did you take, Dagger?
There, he tried BKM first, and then what?
So it was a load?
Well, I'm not seeing the other attempt. Yeah, he cleaned it up. You cleaned it up with Bosk in round 2.
BKM.
Yeah.
Maybe it was round 3 then.
Yeah, it might have been. Yep, there it is. First one. Yeah, here's your timeout. Okay, so it looks like maybe at the critical moment when you decided to go in on somebody, Queen Amidala was under stealth, not targetable.
The courage left her at like 10%, and I just got bootied after that. Did not quite have enough, courage. On the initial.
Was yours also the protection disruption one so you could bypass taunt, or was your cron the can you show it, Taz?
Yeah, here. So 241% armor penetration, blah blah blah. So the stats don't really matter. It is prot disruption. It's the right 369, yeah. How fast is your Xeris?
Like 205.
Wow, that should be even
no,
better.
The problem was that the problem was that Groomer Padme was modded for prot. So I needed like 25 stacks of courage.
You know what? That makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, you didn't get big enough prot up to convert. That makes sense.
Well,
correct. I had like 21 stacks. I needed 25 or more to get through.
Okay, well that is a great insight. Nice.
You know what? I didn't even think about that because I know the call out was really for a lot of health builds, but having that prot build play with the whole setup on the courage, that's interesting.
Well, it's specifically inferior where the courage on Padme matters to the fight like this one. Yeah, that's a great lesson learned. Okay, how about you, TJ? Your offensive gamble of the week.
I'm going to call it the same way, and I think it goes to the quad mate team, and I'm just going to call it quad mate team.
Which round?
If you look at my, I want to say round 1, round 2. It had to be round 1, round 2. So
okay,
right here,
this one was a successful slacker.
It was absolutely successful, and I think I know where the choke point is. I think accuracy is the idea here. So what it is you open up with the poke to get rid of the buffs, and then on SLK's next turn, nobody's dead. So on the swipe, killed Kwame. So Queen Amadana was dead, and you pick apart the team like a carcass on on the vulture. But then if you go to my round 2, it actually cost me the round. And what I did have happen, and I need to figure the point out, whatever else it might be, which could be maybe Hux the third. What happened is my swipe missed her completely. So that miss on her, not deleting her, opened it up that, yes, you can bypass, but if that team gets to go, your team is just out.
She has dodge mastery, doesn't she? Because I think that's actually a decent chance of happening. I'll pull her up on screen here, but I think that's
accuracy. So I know we have somebody who's really building in the accuracy.
No, it's she's got crit avoidance mastery. She doesn't have dodge.
So yeah,
you got the unfortunate on that.
That's what happened. So that's where the two variations was. It's like 40 seconds, man. I'm like, man, everybody should do SLK because this is dumb. This is just dummy. Now you miss the quad main. It's, as you see, 40 seconds and it was a loop.
Yeah.
So it was good to see. What I'm wondering is the pull out, and where I want to try this too, is Hux the third on the team, because essentially they die. And if you're in the right setup, they'll start going after your special forces because he's the weakest character, while your SLK picks apart the team. And that's where I was getting to. So Hux, because I believe she's going to be faster because of a turn meter gain, it's not a bonus turn, would mitigate that, which means you would get to stun her before she puts everybody into stealth, because that's essentially what's happening. Is she's going so quick that everybody's in stealth, so you have to stop the stun. Well, now what if you stop her from gaining that turn meter? And now you get to poke her and then swipe on her because you can bypass taunt. Is what I want to see. But it's like it's to the point where it's not so cut and dry. It's like, yeah, I took this and I auto win. It's like you really have to think about the fight. And try to take less banners, I guess.
Okay. Very fair. Great. That's I know that was a hotly discussed counter this last week, was the Slacker versus Queen. So I appreciate the breakdown. Sasha, how about you? Your offensive gamble of the week.
I mean, it's probably the Padme one we talked about already. I'll throw in, I did some other fun stuff in the match with Cyrus that was really kind of just testing out. Actually, one that I just loved the theory of, that one, right where you've got right there. It's leaderless. It is the Faust Datacron. It's First Order TIE Pilot lead, who has no leadership but has that awesome Ami, Red Trooper, and Faust. And that's a battle I could have won, as it turns out. that I was just sort of testing it out to see, that Datacron ramps the leader's damage whenever damage is done to somebody other than the leader, and if the leader doesn't take damage, then the leader's offense ramps. And
I like this.
First order TIE Pilot, hits pretty hard with the Zombie to begin with. There's nice offensive stats on this Datacron set, and then he just keeps ramping. And I wanted to test just kind of for fun to see how high he would get, so I just kind of kept targeting Holdo, and he was hitting for about 450. It just crushes Holdo. It took a while. It took like 3-4 minutes to get there. Ultimately, the thing timed out, but it was just a fun combination, like a leaderless combination that, because of the Datacron and the Omni on there, did really well. So that was just a goofy, fun one. But yeah,
that's actually it's more powerful than this this one data point might suggest, because the fact that you were able to meaningfully get through Holdo such that you could kill Rey was interesting. With no leadership.
That's a battle that could have I could have won for 55 had I pushed to try and close it. Instead, I killed JTR and then basically made the decision, no, let's just stick on Holdo and see how far we can get with it. And when Holdo would get down on health, and she's R9 really thick, I would hit BB-8 once, and who would have foresight, clear it, and then put that bonus protection on Holdo so I could use her for target practice again.
Yep.
Well, that's cool, man. That's so cool, the idea of taking the FOT, because actually it's funny enough that people don't get that your real damage dealer is FOTP. That dude's double tap with the advantage up, and it's like, oh my god, and he's continuing to ramp. So to take your ideas, you and your cheeky first order, man, I swear your font setups are like.
That's a really cool break glass idea, though.
That is.
If you have them. Exactly. If you got them in the cupboard or whatever, and it's like, oh, geez, what can I make? It's like, hey, we can get a stew going here.
No, that's a good one. That's a real gem. All right.
I really like that one.
All right. Let me pull up my one round.
Really quick, because mine was something that was already discussed.
Yeah.
It wasn't really a gamble, but I have one where I lost with Dash Han Chewie versus Afra, and I was stunned. I don't remember which round that was. They all kind of blur together.
Really?
But I remember that one was just like, the fuck?
Was it the whole can't kill Afra move one, so basically you die, or what was?
Yeah, they had the bulk level 3, so I didn't kill her. But yeah, it was just like, I'm just saying, like, it's one of those where you don't think about it. You're just like, all right, this is my thing for this, and then it didn't work. It's like, fuck, all right.
Yeah, that is. I did move one. Die. I go bye.
Yeah, it's done.
Exactly. So that wasn't a gamble, but because my air quotes gamble was trying Sasha's count.
Oh, there it is.
Sorry.
Yeah, that wasn't even Bam Han Chewie. That was Dash, so he had even extra punch on top of that. And then yes, that Africron had 164% armor penetration. So when BT1 did literally anything, that was it.
That was everybody we needed the opening to work, and then I win the fight. The opening didn't work, I know when fight.
Well, I mean, the opening seemed to work in the sense that you don't see that Afra survived, but then BT1, appeared to have remarks on that.
He said, oh, you thought you was tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, BT1 got to do both day weeks.
All right. I'll say this. I actually had some things surprise me, like in the sense that it was a gamble. Like, I actually thought these were sure things that ended up not being sure things. So this was great to cover, because this was my only one match of the week. So, EP Mara Jade Starkiller against Finn Zori Resistance Hero Finn. I actually I think I reminded myself on this that this was, I think, a misplay that cost me this one. So when you get to EP's first turn, I successfully had tenacity down on everybody, and I should have used his stun to lock down Zori. Instead, I used his third so that I could actually potentially blow up Finn, immediately thereafter, and that shit cost me. So won't be doing that again. So I was sitting there after that, in the aftermath of that fight, thinking, man, was like Starkiller just unreliable for me there? And then, looking back over the VOD, I was like, no, I think I could have. I don't know that Starkiller wouldn't have gotten bursted down in the subsequent turns anyway, but I would have at least bought myself a little more time had I, decided to land that.
You would have been fine, man. I said the same thing. It's like you have the ability to afford to do his third at any point, but you need to control the fight. If you let them go, you're in a world of hurt. And that was where it's like your call is perfect. It's like you're so used to wanting to just go in and do his third right away, but you don't have to. You control the fight, and now you have it locked down. You get yourself to a point where you're going to be in the safety. So it's like just do the next move. Do first moves, lock them down, then do your third to pull away the stuff, and then finish the fight.
Absolutely. The next thing I just wanted to mention was DTMG, Gideon, and Scout had been a slam dunk for me in my 2 legitimate matches in week 1. And I was fighting Polo's GG Stat B1 with a real casual 90.78% health on it, as one does. This is... See, I didn't understand when Zareth was talking in week 1 about the couple times he tried this. He just got immediately closed out. And I was like, yeah, I hear you, I believe you, and I'm not saying you played it incompetently. What I'm saying is I have no idea how that happened because it was cake for me both times in week 1, and here it is in just over a minute. They just ran roughshod over Gideon. Regular Moff Gideon did not get a single turn. The continuous, hitting the target locked DTMG kept sapping away his turn meter, and they just kept him on lock until he died. So I don't think he got to do anything either, and then I withdrew. It was bad. It was very, very bad. However, I will say, right there on that stream, Tom Ford shot me a DM and said that Death Trooper and Scout is perhaps the way. The thing is, though, I don't know if that would have saved me in this situation because of the 90%. Because when I watched his video, he's blowing up Step the same way. Well, actually, no. I didn't attempt to blow up Step. I think that was my plan, though. Had my cheeky self actually gotten to take any turns at all, I think the plan was to burst Step. So basically, with DTMG, Death, and Scout, Tom Ford said he's still been able to get this done. I'd have to...
I'm going to tell you 2 things.
Yeah,
I'm going to give you 2 things because I wanted to do this. I used Death round 3. Here's the point I want to call out where I don't think it's being... And we've talked at length about this, Tass, you and I, like on a subsequent point. The build on health, I really feel is like a choke point where it's going to be at. If your staff is health built, and all of this funnel come down, because if you look at the cron, there's high health, and if the team has it, I really feel like, I think there's going to be a point where it's like, yes, for the average human, it'll do it, because if you go to my round 3, on the fight, I went with Death. I had to test the theory. I knew I was going to win, so I wanted to test the theory. He only had 54% health on it, but it worked just fine. It wasn't as quick as
B1
kills. Yeah, but that's what I just wanted to see what it was doing, but it felt very good with the death on there and the big bomb, what it's doing, and the fact that you get to put the death mark on and the shit they just fade away.
Yeah, because you get to burst right in on Stat, but even with B2 here, you're not worried about him taking turns and doing stuff. Yeah.
But that's what it's like looking at. But I think when you're facing Polo with that high health, and when you're facing these numbers that are not human, like a la Sasha, Aesop, Cyrus, these are not normal players. Everything is not 1-to-1. I've watched that Tom Ford that you showed the video on. There's no way him getting to do a 2-shot is going to kill somebody like it did. Like, I watched where that death got to just like pop, and that person was dead. It's like, you're not doing that to Tass's setup. His is pristinely modded. We're looking to R9 staff. These are not, you don't get to do that stuff and then say it's the same. And I wish people would take that into account, that it's not always work. And that's where I know Derek talks about, because you guys aren't fighting who these folks are fighting. So don't always assume what you're fighting, even in Kyber 1, are not the same world. they can be different worlds where his shit is so highly modded and tuned, and the Datacron is tuned, doesn't just work like in air quotes, like it's supposed to.
Very good. All right, yeah, I just wanted to highlight those couple of fights because they felt like they were so reliable for me in week 1. So not as much a gamble, but more like the opposite, right? Something I thought that was secure and then let me down. Let's go ahead and move to Standout Defenses. Circling back around to you, Dagger. I'll pull you up on screen. What's the defense of the week you wanted to highlight?
Not really any highlights per se, but somebody failed with Bo versus my Lord Vader, and then somebody failed with JMK versus
Fail with JMK versus your Padme, you said? You broke up at the end.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, my groomer Padme.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah. See, people still mess around with this Qui-Gon versus Rex Crex, and then get the back blown out. Look at that. JMK
no real standouts isn't something held multiple times.
Oh no, you said
this
this must be the wrong round. This is round 2, but he failed. This guy failed JMK versus your Quadme. Just ate dust. For a minute.
Yeah. And then like I said, there was another one I laughed at. One of my opponents failed with Bo versus Lord Vader.
There it is, right there. In 2 minutes' time.
Yeah.
Wow. So what does this mean? What does this mean happened? It means that Thrawn got the fracture on Paz, and then Maul took a look at Bo-Katan, who isn't fueled by bonus turns anymore, and was like, "Hi."
I would
killed her twice.
I would ask, did BKM not have the bonus turn Omicron, or did she? Because basically you delete.
Well, bonus turn was a Datacron effect. That's not part of her Omi, so that's not something she gets off.
Not part of the Omi.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I guess.
One of those. That's why I said. I can't
You're
explain
breaking
either
up.
one of those. I was just saying, I had some chuckles looking through my history.
No. That's okay.
Consistently. But yeah, those two stood out when I was kind of glancing through it. It's got a good chuckle out of opponents being I don't want to call them bad, but making some what do you call them, TJ? Some poopies? Making some poopies?
Oh, some poopies. Yeah, I love them poopies.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, and look, you see, that's the thing. You also put on your Lord Vader a 257% armor penetration cron, so it isn't just the true damage. Yeah, not just the true damage threat from Maul, but Lord Vader when he gets that, man, when he gets any turns
just a
at
casual
all.
amount of armor.
Yeah, that's a bad time.
Just a casual.
Yeah. All right, TJ, how about you? Your defense of the week.
Dude, it's Gungans for me. Gungans and Quadme are the monsters of they just did what they were supposed to do as we were going through it.
What rounds stood out?
Inno, the one versus Inno.
Oh wow, look at this.
He tried. Yeah, dude, they were just.
This is your round 1 versus Inno. He threw gas at it. No, Qui-Gon. No. Hold on. What's after that? Hold on. Wampa. No. Hold on. Continuing. Saw. No. Tuskens. No, sir.
If you don't have it down by that, you've let that go, you are in. So don't be doing that, as Tass would say. Don't be that guy. You don't want to be, because it's real bad. Same thing for Gungans, man.
Okay.
They are so unrelenting. These two teams are just, oof. If you get the bad luck.
On your round 3
I
here.
will say, I just looked.
Yep, there it is. Look, somebody tried to do you dirty.
I tried to, dude, I got a message from my opponent so mad at Gungans and how it wasn't tested, and I'm like, I wonder what he used. And I thought it might be Treya, right? Because that's I heard my round 1 nightmare, and I'm like, man, round 2, my guy used Treya, but I had Tarpals, so I was like, forget it, I'll put it in. And then you asked me that question, is there anything special? Like, no, I just had the regular modding, 280 speed or something, and it's I got a 4-line message breaking out how mad they were that Gungans were so busted and why they didn't get tested, which is fine. I understand the law.
Yeah. It's enough that you beat his ass. He doesn't need to be grateful to you for that.
Yeah, and I wasn't mad about it, but I'm like, yeah, but it's okay, he used Treya. It's you see what I'm talking about. If, my round 1, if you decide, and then the AI says, you know what, we like your Treya. We're
Dude.
going to use your Treya as a punching dummy.
Look at
You are
this.
done with
So
that
he
fight.
he withdrew, right? So
No, he didn't. He was dead, and they went. And it
this
was like,
is
no.
so bad. Yeah. Okay, that explains it because
No.
I was thinking for sure Inquisitor should have like closed
Yeah.
that out. His next attempt, he
went
just
into a
ate it.
full fight.
Dude, that is
He loaded
gruesome.
because that's the same thing for me. You die so quick once it goes, you can't track. You can't keep track of when it goes because once she's dead, I'm telling you, your Nihiluses and your Savages just kill over. That's why I said mine was a full load too because I couldn't get out fast enough. They just killed my team because Phalanx is not stopping once he starts, and then the disruption is so crazy. You can't keep up. Yeah.
That is insane. All right, that's a great one. Yeah, man. You can't, do not preload the Gungans. Just do not do that at all.
Don't quad mate.
Withdraw, actually, like pour water on your router, whatever it takes. You stop that right now. You get out of that fight right now if you're going to preload it.
You don't want to be that person.
All right, that's a good one. Sasha, how about you? Your defense of the week.
Really? I mean, I had one match and Cyrus one-shot it, so there's really nothing that stands out.
Also, Sasha.
Yeah.
Really quick, consider applying Insidious on me.
Yeah, that's very fair.
Yeah, consider applying Insidious.
I know I need to. I do know I need to. But yeah. I don't really have anything great. I guess
this makes me mad.
My SLK didn't hold.
This makes me mad that he did this to you because I failed twice doing JML, JKR. I did it with Jedi Cal, so I guess I didn't run it with JKL the second time. But he did this in just over a minute for 56 banners. Set 14 Jedi Kron, stacking offense and speed level 3, not that anybody died. 100% added offense level 6. Yeah, that 84% protection. So he just, walloped, I assume, the Hux and then the crew. I think one of the lessons that we learned from me trying it that second time with JML on Slacker is that it's actually disadvantageous for JML to be faster than Slacker, because you're all saying, you gotta let him poke you, and then you use Efflux to give yourself and your allies the critical hit immunity, which gives you the longevity required to manage the fight, I guess. So, wow, because he just kicked the shit out of this. That's incredible.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention this back in the offensive gamble section, so let me just squeeze that in real quick. I finally, maybe for the second time ever, got Night Sisters to work against Java in one shot. The critical aspect was once Asajj was dead, Mother Talzin was a long way off from dying. But I want to say, it was somebody in the chat that said right there, just put it on auto basic, even with just one dead. Like instead of trying to seek out, the moment to maybe get, blown up some other way, some more creative way. I don't know. But yeah, no, just putting it on auto basic. Java decided to go after Mother Talzin with his third, and over time she eventually died. And then we popped off the chain. The one thing I think I could have done is, after we were like 120, 130, 140 stacks of Plague, I probably could have taken it off of auto, used Marin's middle, and tried to bring people back. Because as it stood, just leaving it on auto basic to make sure that the fight closed out, it was a 52. So could have been, a little better. Still a one-shot, and I think a lot of people are actually using Night Sisters for a planned two-shot. So... having it work at all is nice. Okay, yeah, for my part, for my standout defense, let's see. Yeah, well, that was a planned two-shot. She used Sidious against my Jabba and took out the sides, but I think there was another one. Yeah, so she had Star Killer go south, not against Resistance hero Finn with the Finn team, but Finn, Zori, and Rose. I do have both, the Rose and the Zori Omicrons, but yeah, in 46 seconds, he got just or she just got blown out. I think there was one more, but no. That was it. So yeah, she was pretty clean on attacks aside from that. All right, yeah, I'm glad I remembered about that Java point. That was going to bother me. All right, guys, last segment here. Takeaways and final thoughts. We're heading into the final week of week 3 here. We've got a sense of what we're dealing with the new Datacron's dagger. What are you taking away?
Well, just like Kobe when he wore the number 8, questionable decision. And then changed his number to 24, and we loved it. We should not accuse Padme for deciding to call her.
You know, when you're not breaking up, I'm getting like Kobe references. I feel like that's what I'm getting.
Oh, I was just comparing Kobe to Padme, where we forgive Padme's indiscretions because she's hot.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. Padme reserved for offense this week, certainly with her having protection up herself everywhere, which enables...
No, I'm saying we shouldn't give her a free pass. 9-year-old boy.
Oh, man. Well, when you come back out of that cornfield, you let us know, and I'll come back to you here at the end because I want to make sure we capture your comment, but... Something surrounding Padme, and I think we all agree it's probably good. Okay, TJ, how about you? Your takeaways. And final thought,
I think the both things apply right now. I don't know if this is the week to take chances, man. On these teams, I know it's high risk, high reward, but as you've seen, like my round 2, that hurt my feelings, and that's what cost me my round because I wanted to take something, which I would have anyway. So it's not like I wouldn't have still done it, but seeing that point, I don't know if this is the week to do that. Strategy still plays a part and studying your opponent, but those high risk, high rewards right now, these teams are monsters right now, especially with Datacron. So just be careful out there.
Fair enough. Sasha Isha, how about you, sir? Your takeaways, your final thoughts. What's the summary point for the people?
Yeah, I think playing to win, TJ's spot on. That you got to be cautious with the risks you're taking because there are some really unforgiving comps with Datacrons right now. That being said, I'll take it just from my own kind of like personal disposition on it. I had a lot of fun kind of messing around with stuff, so I may lean more into sort of risk tolerance than I normally would because like when I play really well, I play buttoned up, and it's exactly as we've all talked about in the past. It's you want to just squeeze the risk out of each of the different matchups. But I feel like I'm getting to play so infrequently now that it's kind of I don't know, just for the excitement of it, I'm probably taking more risks, and there are enough sort of funky counters that are showing some potential. I may try and embrace more of that, but that's where I'm coming from right now.
Very fair. Yeah, for me, I want to shake a couple things up. First of all, I'm not going to be doing JML against Slacker if I encounter that again. What I do want to try is more Slacker on defense. I haven't done that at all. I'd like to see, how many real matches I get this week, and we'll see how much, if at all, I use that. But I've got a hell of a Slacker, so I'd love to see if I get some value out of that idea. I re-rolled the right cron for it. That's your bulk 3, long first order text level 6, and then the Slacker level 9 has shown to be pretty horrific here. As a defensive team, I've shown a couple different ways offensively. Having that first order special forces cron is just fantastic, man. It's very rare that you could just say Slacker just hands down is crushing JMK, but yeah, that is absolutely the case. Before I send us off, let's circle back to Dagger and see if he's wandered back into range, so to speak. That last thought of yours, Dagger.
I was just saying we shouldn't give Padme a free pass for grooming a 9-year-old.
Well, you know what? I'd say that was worth circling back for. A real gem, if there ever was one. That is practicable
I was
intelligence.
to draw a correlation to Kobe. Yeah, I was trying to draw the correlation to Kobe switching his numbers. We fell back in love with him when he switched numbers. Padme came out in the next movie. We fell back in love with her, even though she groomed a 9-year-old in the first movie.
Go back and watch Leon the Professional. It's the world she comes from, Dagger. It's just the world she comes from.
That is
Wow.
awesome.
Wow. Deep referencing. Deep referencing. Wow. It all makes sense now.
That movie is awesome, by the way.
It's so normalized for her. Yeah.
Also, Cass, please, for the love of God, get a new hat.
I like my hat just fine, and it's also. I'll tell you what. Wear a proper felt top hat, or this actual wool cap of mine behind me with the actual Shaco hat. Wear that in June, indoors. Like even with air conditioning, it gets uncomfortable real quick. This thing at least breathes.
I was wearing a beanie guy 24/7 for like 3 years, dude. I get it.
Yeah, I'm not trying to cook alive in my office here, so no. All right, well, hey guys, thank you.
Stop not touching your brother. I will pull over.
Okay, well, thank you, Dagger. I appreciate that.
That's right. You will turn this car right around right now, Tass.
That's right, man. Somebody's about to get it. I'll tell you what. Okay, well, guys, as always, thank you so much. We'll go ahead and start the wrap-up here. If you're watching this on YouTube here, feel free to, like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to see more like this. I put up VODs from my streams. By the way, I stream at twitch.tv/Tassinix. And yeah, in addition to my VODs and, of course, the Plotting and Scheming show here, I also have some other Slugger-related content like the Datacron set videos that I make with Aesop Rock, and the latest series I've been putting out, which is mod guides on individual characters. I started with, characters that were coming up on recent marquee free-to-play release date, and I'm kind of working my way back from that. I'm also interested in doing, what people want to see next, so all those types of comments are welcome. Let's see. And of course, if you do like what we're doing here at Tassinix Gaming and you want to support us, by all means, check out my Patreon. So check out patreon.com/Tassinix. For any enterprising, upwardly mobile GAC player, there is something of interest there to you. At the $5 tier, you get into the dedicated chat and voice channels in the TAS House, and also have early access to my, GAC-specific content like Plotting and Scheming and my Datacron set videos. So first of all, we got to thank the folks that jump in there at VIP Access. Thank you to Andrew, White Wolf, Sam Vimes, Jobin4527, Stark Strategy Gamer, Rays Malbus, Brock Thudsteel, Renee Bebe, Deadpool Cow 28, Johnny B. Ottawa, JJ's Productions Twitch, Sweens14, Darth QPPMG, and Funky, who he actually bumped up, so I'll mention that because he upgraded. He started here at VIP Access and decided to bump up, so hey, all the better. So yeah, if you jump up to the $10 tier, VIP Access Plus, you get bundled access to a Megabot Patreon. So if you watch my streams, I like to go over that report on my opponent. It gives a fantastic at-a-glance view of your opponent's offensive and defensive tendencies. I can't say enough good about it. Thank you so much to Stryker and Esh Sotnikam taking advantage of that. At the $15 tier is VIP Access Premium. That gets you a double Patreon bot bundle, not only to a Megabot, but to Hot Utils as well. That is the premier tool for, mass loadout and mod management. Thank you to Quig, Ibanek, Sir Boss, and Trevor Boy Gaming. Appreciate you guys. And of course, at the top of the heap, the one, the only, Nomad's Reaper in Jesters Club Elite. By far, the most incredible supporter of this stream. Has just come in from time to time and dropped hundreds of subs, thousands of biddies. Fireman carried hype trains up as high as level 18, I want to say. So really appreciate you, man, for the incredible support. All right, and, we have to do our special thanks here. Thanks go out to Yoda Force, one of my original supporters from back in the day. Got me the mic I'm speaking to you on right now. He's long since quit the game, but we remember him fondly from the other side. To Mrs. T, my wife, thank you so much for all of the background support, updating my slides, keeping our daughter out of my hair while I'm trying to be halfway decent at a phone game. And of course, to my co-hosts here, I'm Plotting and Scheming, Dagger, TJ, and Sasha Isha. thank you so much, guys, for making the time out of your busy, work and family schedules to make our show. Couldn't do it without you. It just keeps getting better and better as we, get more into the habit. So appreciate you guys so much. And we'll see how it works here. We got week 3 coming up, and then I have to wrangle our special guest that'll be coming up for the in-between week. That's still a secret for now, but we'll be discussing it next week. All right, coming back over. Yeah, well, good luck to all of you making your preparations here going into week 3, round 1. And until next time, it's been real, it's been awesome, it's been real awesome. Take care.